Hello, this is Päivi from Peony and Parakeet. This time I'll be asking, are you a minimalist? Or an inspiration seeker? A mess maker? Or an imitator? Let's find out!
Creating art is a complex thing. You need to develop skills and routines to do that in practice. If you want practicing to be fun and the end result unique, you need to increase your imagination, the ability to dream and play with ideas that do not fully exist yet. You need to get connected with your emotions and communicate them so that others can connect with your art too. And to develop in all that, you need an analytical mind which observes not only what you are creating, but also what happens around you and inside you. Based on my experience, I have created 4 stereotypes of developing artists. You might be one of them or find matching features in all of them. Or you might have started as an inspiration seeker, then become imitator and then mess maker. Your inner critic usually knows what your problem is. Inspiration seeker says, I spend a lot of time dreaming, watching and browsing, but it's difficult to actually start creating. Imitator says, I create by following an example. I use a photograph or follow accurate instructions or create with products like cut images, stencils and stamps. Messmaker says, I love to paint and create backgrounds, but I often wonder what people see in my art. Minimalist says, I create with control. I like to stop too soon rather than too late. I often wonder about colors, how to make them shine. All of these problems are actually good features for any artist. A lot of great art is based on comprehensive background studies and gathering information and inspiration. Most of the skills are learned by imitating them first. Creating a big mess is the phase where we invite our creativity to solve the problem. And being able to simplify, believe or not, that's what every good artist does to get the message through. Even complicated paintings have built in that in one way or another. What we need to do is to find a balance. We need to develop all the 4 factors of creating art.
Next, let's look more closely at those profiles.
Inspiration seekers are analytical people. Some call them fact finders, as they often want to search for bits of information to get the whole big picture. I often recognize this path for myself when I plan to create something big and totally new. I go to the local library and start browsing books. I do not always work systematically, I just have the feeling that I need to find out as much as I can about the subject. The good thing in library visits is that you can't stay there forever. If you browse the internet instead, you might get lost. Inspiration seekers see a great value in good visual communication. They want art to touch them both intellectually and emotionally. Inspiration seekers often feel that they do not have enough imagination and they want to know exactly what they will create before they start creating. If you are an inspiration seeker, focus on learning routines and basic skills that will make you create. You will be surprised of how much imagination will be revealed with that. You will then have a lot to communicate. Imitators enjoy following guidelines. They feel that they can relax when tracing a photo or when watching step-by-step directions. They love repeats and order when creating. Imitators are not like inspiration seekers who like to think before creating. Imitators think while they are creating. They want the process to be controlled and clearly defined. Some think that imitators do not have the persistence to create unique art. But imitators often have a great self-discipline. They create art regularly, and that itself is a key element for development. I love to combine my imitator part with imagination. That combination rocks. It will fine-tune unoriginality and create fascinating but understandable solutions. If you are an imitator, start adding phases to your process where you can create more freely. For example, you can finish your image without looking at the photo or watching the last step of the instructions. Messmakers embrace freedom. Strict instructions make them feel uncomfortable. Messmakers collect supplies and love to experiment with them. Messmakers want to express emotions. They get puzzled and disappointed when they don't see the emotional connection in their end result. Messmakers have a great time with their imagination, but without bringing an analytical mind in the process, the end result can be difficult to understand. I believe that messmaking is a very important part of creating intuitively. The enjoyment that you get out of it is huge. If you are a messmaker and want to add meaning to your art, add analytical thinking to your process. Before you start creating, raise self-awareness about your thoughts and ask help from an inspiration seeker for more inspiration. And after the messmaking, finish your work so that the expression gets easier to perceive. Minimalists often have strict opinions about what they like or don't like. They are great organizers and instructors as they have the skill to communicate things clearly. When they create their version of something complicated, they catch the essence. And nothing more. The message can be understood, but the interpretation often lacks emotion. Minimalists focus so much on clarity that the end result lacks the nature of reality. Minimalists often label things happy, sad, red, blue, but real emotions and real colors often have much more variety. For me, it has been a struggle to get just the right amount of minimalism in my art. I love rich expression and a lot of colors, but minimalistic mindset helps to focus. Every messmaker needs a portion of minimalists, and every minimalist needs messmaking. If you are a minimalist, start using your imagination. You can use analytical mindset to embark it. When drawing the tree, take a photo of a real tree. Then zoom closer so that you can see single pixels of an image. The colors of the pixels are not only green, there are a lot of colors. You just have to really dig deep and you will notice that everything in life has its variation. You can use your minimalistic skills to pick the details you want to emphasize. They will make your work richer and you will get connected to your work in much deeper level. And others will feel the same. Whether you are an inspiration seeker, imitator, messmaker or minimalist, I have created this 4-week online workshop for you. It's called Inspirational Drawing. You will grow your skills by fully embracing your creativity. I tell you, drawing can be an enjoyable experience, a delightful travel to your rich inner world. And while you're traveling, you can develop your skills, use all the inspiration you will see along the way, and find places and dimensions where words can't take you. Reserve your spot at www.peonyandparakeet.com/inspirational drawing. I really hope you will sign up.